Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. For my next build I'm going to be building this Airfix Hawker Typhoon Mark 1B scale 1 to 24. This is the newest Harrier for Airfix. It's a massive scale, came out a couple of years ago. There's been many YouTube videos of this kit. It's quite an impressive kit. It's got a total of 16 main sprues with 2 clear part sprues as well. The instruction book, really nice and laid out. It's just an example of it. It's too much to go through at the moment, but the quality of the book is fantastic. The pages are really thick, really good quality paper on there. At the back you've got all the different options what you want to do and paint schemes and that. I think I'm going to be doing this, what comes with pilots, I'm going to be doing this half and half, and what I mean by that is I'm going to possibly build one half of the aircraft as you see in the picture, and then the other half I'm going to leave the panels off so you can see the workings. Now the reason for that is, and I'm sure anyone who's looked at this build on other many good videos on this, you'll see that you're practically building the entire airframe for the model, and it'd be such a shame putting all that work into it and not seeing it. So I thought, if I'm able to, I won't decide until I'm along with the build before I make my final decision, but if I'm able to, I will try and show all this work. So I hope you enjoyed the build. I'm looking forward to doing it, so let's get on with it. Right, to start off with, I'm going to be building the cockpit airframe. So I'll cut these all off and clear them. So that's all the parts cut off for the first stage. Now I'm just cleaning it up. So assembling the first part. Now the glue's dried, I'm just going to roughly paint these. And the reason why I'm doing it roughly is because it's the airframe. So that's all the base colours on. They're all on aluminium colour. And now, because such a detailed kit, and I'm going to be showing a lot of the airframe, I'll be detailing as I go along on this kit. So I'm going to go on with that now. So first of all, I'm going to put the black on. This is tar black Rival Covenant number 6. So just a tiny amount on your brush. So now for the weathering process, give it more of a metal look, I'm using the Tamiya Weathering Master Set D. I'm using burnt red and then oil stain. Just putting very small bits on it, just to change the colour of the aluminium colour. So just highlighting the frame really, and I'll do that throughout the frame. So now it's on to the wing supports and struts. So I've also done the back panel line in tar black, which is a very sober undercoat with a thin layer of tar black, just thinly spread haphazardly to give it a worn, dirty look. Then painted in a bit of copper here for a while, then went over it with a silver pigment. So it's now time to put it together. they go in these little holes. I would say on this kit, make sure you know where your contact points are for your gluing, and it just slips in to these grooves. And same again with the second part, and that's the first part of the cockpit built. Right, I'm painting the next part at the stage for the cockpit. So I've already put the aluminium colour in the black. So I'm just painting the copper wiring now. So I'll carry on with that, then I shall weather those parts up. I've already dry fitted the part. The first part going in, which is this. So I'm just going to hold this in a position, and once it's dry we'll put it in. So that's it dry now. There's still a little bit of movement in it. If you're going to be building this kit with everything on, as in all the panels and things like that, you don't have to put these parts on. But if you're leaving it open, like I am, then you have to put these parts on. Let's just slots in there. And there's tiny little locator points on the bracket, so you can just manoeuvre them in. The next part going on. Again, a little bit tricky, but so far the fits have been phenomenally good. So for the next stage, this is all black bearing. I'm using a rubber black. This is black rubber shades, deep Cockpit. It's basically a black wash, and it also gives a rubber pipe effect. So there we go, that gets painted black. So that's all painted and dried. So tricky process again. Just getting this to fit. So next part, this flywheel thing goes in there. So I've just moved the camera here, realised I wasn't showing up too well. But onto the seat now. I've already painted parts of the seat to make up, so you can see. So that's the chair seat done. There we go. Right, so I'm waiting for this part to dry. It was a lot trickier than I thought it was going to be to put in, but it's in now. So now I'm going to prepare the side control panels. I'll put these parts on the spray until I go into the detailing even. So you can see that. They're just going to be straight black, then I'll be highlighting all the little parts. So that's the seatbelt ready to go in. This is the plastic part. A little bit of glue. So as you can see, they actually work out quite well. So I'll just put the next part of the seatbelt in. You don't have to be too accurate with this. They don't have to land exactly like they do on the picture on the instruction. And there we go. So on to the instrument panel detailing. So I'm just painting in silver over the housing of the different levers and so forth, just to make them stand out. Don't worry if you go over the lines, which I'm doing, because you can cut back in with the black. So that's the first one done. I'll try and see it. There's a bit out of focus, but you get the general idea. So I'll carry on with that. So for the last bit of detailing on this, it's the actual levers. There we go. The first decal to put in, so I thought I would just do this on camera to show you. Through your camera. So next part to go on is the compass. So now for the instrument panel. I've got two of these boxing cables to go in. Paint it black, then copper and rust. Okay, the instructions were a bit unclear. I should have looked at them a bit more. I did put in the seat belts, but for the bottom of the seat I put in, but further on to the instructions you have to put in the seat. So obviously they don't go on top. The seat doesn't go on top of the belt, so I've taken them off. Luckily there was still enough wiggle room to get them off. Here's the joystick. Starting the instrument panel, so I'm just putting a base coat of black on here before I join up the clear part with the decals on it. That's the front of the panel painted black. I've highlighted it with silver as well, just to give it some definition. The clear part that goes on behind takes on the decals, and they go on, then the two units join together. There's a cylinder that goes in the back of the seating panel there. It's painted in aluminium and withers slightly. Don't know what it does, but it's going in. Now that the instrument panel is dried with the decals in, just marrying the two parts up before installing it. So that's it together, as you can see there. That's all will be the panel showing up. It's nicely detailed. You can see the orange coming through in the silver now. Simple matter of connecting the panel now to the cockpit, and then we have it installed. I'm placing in one of the main support bars that goes into the cockpit and structure of the kit. Now when you're building this, just be careful. I noticed along the build that I had to take some parts out to fit other parts in. I also didn't look at the instructions properly. Read it down the line to see what you're having to do. As I said, there was a couple of times, especially on the engine, where I had to take a beam out to fit a part in and so forth, because there's very little room, and if you're if you want to have a detailed kit done, you may have to do this. So I'm going to begin work on the engine block. Quite a lot of process involved in this one. So build it all and then come back. Well, that brings this part of the build to a close. It's going to be a series of parts just because the build log is huge, and I want to get as much as possible into these videos for you to have a look at. So thank you very much for watching. Check out part 2 when it's up, but for now, bye bye.